You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
Welcome back to the show. This week, Democrats in Congress wrapping up their case to convict President Trump. House impeachment managers arguing that he incited the January 6 riots that left multiple people dead at the U.S. Capitol, showing senators never before seen surveillance video from inside the building as rioters made their way in. An official vote on conviction in the Senate is expected soon.
Thank you so much, Representative Burrows. You're down in Austin, another session. Tell me what you're working on down there.
Well, quite a bit. First I'll tell you, I appreciate the trust and confidence of Speaker Phelan. He put me in the position to chair the Calendars Committee. As the chair of Calendars Committee, we meet and prioritize what actually makes it to the floor. I think, as most everyone knows, there's a lot of bills that get filed down here, and trying to find out what the priorities for Texas and West Texas are and making sure those can get heard is very important. So I appreciate that. And most of my time will be helping that. So in some ways, I'm working on all of the bills of the House, not just a few. Today, actually, I did file a bill. It's a property tax reform measure. You may remember I filed a big property tax reform bill last session, probably the biggest in at least 40 or 50 years. And we knew there were some things that we needed to come back and tweak. And one of the things that I was most interested in is when we see our cities and county government trying to get around the voter approval rate, they're using something called certificates of obligation. A lot of debt goes to the voters for approval, but there's some mechanisms that were designed for emergency use only that we're seeing cities and counties utilizing. And so I'm trying to make sure that the voters have more say over that by making sure that those payments are part of what they get to vote on under the voter approval rate. So I filed that bill today. The other big thing that I'm working on is we had an unprecedented last year. I mean, there's no doubt about it from all levels. And there's so many people that I know that, were dealt a really difficult hand, whether it was their personal health, their family's health, whether it was their business, just looking for employment. And we learned a lot of things over that. And so I plan to file legislation that talks about, if we ever do encounter another pandemic, what is the appropriate response of government? What are the tools that should be available? What are some of the restrictions? And so I've been working hard on that, and hopefully we'll be filing something very soon to address it.
When we spoke a few weeks ago over the phone, you talked about something that was really dear to your heart, which was expanding broadband access to rural areas. Talk about that. Is that something that's still high on your list?
It is, and I think that we're going to see that probably, get to the governor's desk this session. I don't care where you are in Texas, you realize that the ability to get online, whether it was for your children's education, whether it was for work, just connecting with people, seeing family members who were in nursing homes, was really more important than it ever has been to us in the past. It truly is a public utility. And while most people, in Texas have access to it, it's predominantly our rural areas that do not have access to those really important needs. And so the legislature will come together this session, in my opinion. You heard the governor talk about it in his State of the State address, that we're going to make sure that those areas do have that really important critical utility in trying to address for everybody.
Something big that came out this week was the Texas Rent Relief Program, that depending on what your county's median income is, you can possibly qualify for some assistance. Is this something that you support of, and you think this will be really helpful for us Lubbockites?
Well, I actually haven't seen the specifics of that, but I think as part of the larger package that we know people are still suffering. I mean, the numbers are getting better. Here in Lubbock and across the state, we're starting to see that huge decline in the number of COVID cases. And our economy is getting much stronger, but there's been a lot of people who've been left behind because their businesses had to close. The economy wasn't functioning the same way. And so I think you're going to see a lot of different bills and different solutions to try to address the really real pain that people have felt from the economic crash from COVID.
Any bill that's been filed by a Democrat in the House that you think you may be able to get behind?
Well, I know there will be some. I've gotten behind some in the past. Unlike Washington, D.C., the Texas House is probably one of the most bipartisan areas. I have close friends on both sides of the aisle. It's kind of early. Most of the bills that are more substantive aren't going to be filed probably until after committee assignments come out. And so it's early. I haven't identified any specific ones, but I'm sure that there will be. And I hope that also, likewise, that a lot of the things that I'm talking about with the pandemic relief are things that will be bipartisan in nature. I'll give you a couple of examples. I don't think that, during a pandemic or really any time, government should ever close churches. During a pandemic, people need the place to worship more than ever, and churches have historically been able to, help with a lot of the relief efforts that have been going on. So part of, the legislation that I will support is making sure that that doesn't happen again. And I think that will be bipartisan in nature. We saw it even here in the city of Lubbock, who closed our churches down for a period of time, and I don't want to see that again. It's the same with the Second Amendment. I don't want to see, gun stores and other things closed. I also want to make sure that volunteers that decide to, doctors who come out of retirement to help patients when we need it the most for critical access, or when you have places like Toyota that manufacture face masks, that they can't be later sued and have liability for just trying to help in a pandemic situation. I think those type of concepts, they're not red, they're not blue, they're red, white, and blue. And I think everybody can get behind those things. So I think we'll have bipartisan support on a lot of those concepts.
One of the things we heard from Governor Abbott just a few days ago is that he is going to fight for the oil and gas industry, especially here in Texas, against some of the measures that President Joe Biden has put into place. I'm assuming that either you're behind that as well, or what's your take on that?
1,000%. I can't express my support for him enough on doing that. I mean, we know out here in West Texas, it's food, fuel, and fiber. Our agricultural industry, our oil and gas industry is so vital to our economy. It makes the engines run out here, but it makes the engines run for the entire state. So whether we have to look to the 10th Amendment, while we have to look to anything else, we're going to fight for the oil and gas producers down here in this state, and look forward to working with Governor Abbott to lead those efforts.
When the session is over, sign, dine at the end, what do you think, what do you hope that you would have accomplished when it's time to come back to Lubbock?
Yeah, there's a lot of things on that. Obviously, I have a conservative compass, and I want to see some good conservative legislation passed. I want to see the pro-life front move forward from the legislature. I want to see the Second Amendment rights expanded. I want to make sure that the continuation on fighting for taxpayers is expanded. I want to make sure that, people in rural Texas have broadband. I want to make sure Texas Tech gets full funding for the vet school, and that our public education